Hey, YouTubers! Greg the Rant Man here, messed up, bad hair day and all. Not really a rant. It's a pseudo rant because I have a question. Now, everybody out there knows that not all felons are bad people. Okay, sometimes it's just a stupid mistake that somebody made when they were younger, or they took a guilty plea because they got lied to by the district attorney. They were an accessory to a crime, and in some cases, they didn't even realize a crime had been committed, but they end up getting their record permanently screws up portions of their life. Now, some states don't allow felons to vote, which, I don't remember who it was that said it, but they said it wasn't just our right to vote, it was our obligation, our duty to vote in every election. But some states have made it illegal to vote. Now, and another one is the Gun Control Act, I believe it was Gun Control Act of 1967, which prohibited all felons from owning firearms. Now, I can understand certain felons. You don't want a guy who's committed armed robbery or murder or rape or child molestation or something. You don't want violent offenders, you don't want sex offenders, and you don't want hard drug offenders. And I'm not talking about weed, because weed's not a drug. Okay? You can argue with me all you want about that one. I will never believe that weed is a drug. Weed actually has many, many positive properties to it. Do I believe that some people take it way too far? Yes. But that's like coffee. I'm guilty. I drink a lot. In fact, I have blood in my caffeine stream. But you get the idea. Now, people who are guilty of violent, sex-related, or serious, real drug offenses, no, they shouldn't be allowed to own guns because they actually pose a genuine threat to society. A person who is an accomplice, especially the unwitting accomplice, or the person who takes a guilty plea because, they got lied to by the DA. Accomplices, if they're the getaway driver or whatever, because they don't have what it takes to go in and actually commit the armed robbery or whatever, they're like, look, man, I'll drive, but I don't want to see anybody get killed. They're a different type of felon right there. But what I'm getting at is, the way the laws are written, when a person commits a felony, they're no longer an American citizen. They aren't, because their rights were taken away from them. They've had some of their rights, which are guaranteed by the Constitution, taken away from them. The Second Amendment, which I keep on my as my wallpaper on my little baby laptop, says very clearly, the Second Amendment: a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, a lot of people want to run that together and try to claim that the militia is different than the average person. No, they're not, because by definition, militia is any male over the age of 16, period. Able-bodied men or women, men and women, able-bodied people over the age of 16 constitute the militia. The right of the people, that includes felons, to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That makes the Gun Control Act of 1967, it might have been 1968, anyway, it makes it unconstitutional. Because people who are found guilty or take a guilty plea or whatever for whatever reason of non-violent crimes are being punished their entire lives. They're having their rights taken away from them, therefore rendering them not citizens of the United States. Once your rights are taken away, if you're allowed to wander the streets or whatever, you're free, but you're not allowed to protect your home and your family. You're not allowed to hunt with hunting. I love it. You're not allowed to hunt with a gun. You're not allowed to own a gun. You're not allowed to vote, even though voting is like I said, it's not just A right, it's a duty. Everybody has that duty to vote. But some states refuse to allow it, which means that they're not. But what gets me is some of these states, not only are they not letting felons vote, they're letting illegals vote. Now, explain the logic here. All right. Now, the same people who are doing this are also the same people that are running their cities and their states into the ground. Most of them are run by liberals. The liberalism is a mental disorder, in my opinion, because they can't seem to grasp reality. That's my opinion. But anyway, I'll continue. What makes a person who has done their time, who has become a productive member of society, they've completely served their sentence, they've become productive members of society, they've kept their nose clean, why should they not be allowed to become full citizens again? Because they're not full citizens if they don't have the right to vote, they don't have the right to keep and bear arms, and there are other things that they're not allowed to do. Again, like I said, violent offenders, sex offenders, and hard drug offenders, no, they shouldn't be allowed to pack. They shouldn't be allowed to own a gun. They shouldn't even be allowed to own a squirt gun. Well, okay, now that's a little too far, because no point in them not having fun with kids in the backyard on a hot summer day, or out at the lake. But you get the idea. Of course, if our laws had teeth, we wouldn't have nearly as many violent offenders, sex offenders, etc., roaming the streets, because their asses would be strength testing ropes with their necks. But we've got groups like the ACLU who seem to think that that's cruel and unusual. Well, let me ask you a question. Was it not cruel and unusual for the guys to break into an elderly couple's house, beat the man to death, and rape his 90 plus or 70 plus or whatever wife, and then kill her? Was that not cruel and unusual? Personally, I think hanging's too damn nice. Well, at least the quick way. I think you should string her ass up slowly. Pull a hang 'em high. Throw the noose over a tree branch, and that's an odd little gnat. Hate gnats. Anyway, tie the rope to a saddle horn, and then just walk the horse forward. Let him stretch that rope out slowly. Okay, anyway. If you guys are in agreement with me or disagreement with me, that's fine. I'm cool with it either way. But I seriously want you to consider what I've said. Whether you agree or disagree, just think about it. I'm not going to get mad if you think I'm nuts. A lot of people do. I'm cool with that. Okay. But if you do agree with me, maybe we need to start harassing our legislators about making some changes to some of these laws. Because it is not right for the guy who has been out of prison, who served, let's say, 10 of a 15-year sentence, who got out of prison, who finished his parole and probation time. The entire time he's kept his nose clean, and he's continued to keep his nose clean, or her nose clean. They have become productive members of society. They have a job. They're raising a family. They're not harming anyone. In fact, most people probably aren't even aware that they're felons. They're having them over for family barbecues. They served their time. They're done. Should they not be allowed to become full citizens again? I think they should. And you, like I said, you can disagree all you want, but I want you to think about that. Because how would you feel if you took your buddy for what you thought was a simple beer run, and you were parked, around the side of the building, your buddy went in and robbed the store, stole the beer, robbed the store, killed the clerk. You didn't hear it because you had your stereo up real loud. You had no idea. They come walking out all nonchalant, hop in the car, you drive home. You think you just made a beer run, that's it. But your buddy's got a shit ton of money in his pocket that you're not aware, that you don't know about. The problem is the cameras have caught you. You have been caught on camera. Your car's on camera. Your buddy's on camera. You're on camera. Smile. Your life has just been ruined because of somebody else. Now, why is it fair that you're no longer allowed to own a gun or vote? How would you feel? Really, how would you feel? Think about that. How would would you think it was very fair if it happened to your brother or your sister, your mom or your dad, one of your cousins, a real good friend? Some of these laws are outdated. They need to change. We need to get rid of them. All right. Some of the laws are good. The wording of some of the laws just really sucks. But once a felon, always a felon, and never a full citizen ain't right. Should a person carry that record? Yes. Okay, we've got to, especially, if they commit one crime, after 5 years, that record should be vanished, should go, if they've kept their nose clean. But if they keep committing offense after offense after offense, well, it's time to strength test some rope. Because they are wasting our money, our tax dollars, by staying in the system. They can't handle it on the street. They want to stay in jail. Well, let's give them an option. They can straighten their ass up or they can hang. I'm all for hanging. I'm all for firing squads. I'm all for the electric chair. I don't like lethal injection because it's just too fucking easy. Good night. You're dead. The only thing they feel is a little pinch. You're going to feel a little pinch. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I've got stuff I've got to get done. I'm going to go do some free advertising for my website, which I'm not going to plug on here. Excuse me. Anyway, have a great day. I'm going to go enjoy the weather, and